Hello there and welcome to Namident Academy. Today we are going to discuss about factors that affect PhD student success. According to the Cambridge Dictionary, success is achieving results wanted or hoped for. And hence, there are different factors that will result in somebody achieving what he or she hoped for in a PhD education. In general speaking, the main purpose of PhD is for the candidate to advance the field he or she finds himself, to add something to discovery or rediscovery in the field he finds himself or herself, and at the end be awarded the doctorate certificate. So with that in mind, we know that not everybody who goes to the graduate school pursuing PhD do complete their PhD. For some, they lost the interest or they find something better than PhD, and hence they voluntarily quit the PhD to start something important to them. For others, they really love to be in the graduate school and continue their career in academia. But then, due to challenges and some factors beyond their control or within their control, they end up failing to achieve their ultimate goal or aim or results, which is to get the PhD or doctorate certificate and to help in advancing the science of this field. Factors that affect the PhD student success are broad. And in this video and the next two videos, I have divided the factors and put them into generally 3 different videos. These videos are as a result of my curiosity to find those factors, and hence I did a literature review, read about articles in which studies were conducted about this topic, and hence they come out with broad category. For example, personal characteristics of the student, supervision factors, psychosocial factors, and others that we will learn in a short moment. The first factor broadly is personal characteristics of the student. The individual student characteristics do affect the student success. One of these factors is the motivation and perseverance of the student. There is 25 to 30% high likelihood of completion of PhD for students with high intrinsic motivation, because these are the motivation that would allow a student to wake up every moment to the lab or to the library or to the study center and write and research. And that the student might have get some additional meaning, some value that he attached to these studies. Not only the paper at the end of the day, but with other values to it. And perseverance in challenging moment. PhD education is sometimes and mostly or always challenging. It mostly doesn't go as planned. Practical works or writing never goes in most cases as planned, and hence high motivation helps students to be able to successfully finish their programs. The next point in personal characteristics is ability of the student to perform independent work. A PhD is more about independent work than a collaborative work. Although collaborative work is being encouraged, but at the end, you have to write your papers and articles to submit and defend your thesis. And that in most PhDs, the planning of day-to-day activities of your work depend on you. So the ability of the student to work independently, to make concrete decisions independently before seeking the approval of its committee or her committee or the supervisor is very important. Students who have less independence or don't have control over personal independence to work alone face a lot of problems, and that may result in not being able to successfully complete their education. And hence, students who self-direct their work are more likely to complete their PhDs on time. My final point on personal characteristics, as summarized by my research, is resilience in facing challenges. There is high likely between 40 to 60% of students who have the capacity or resilience to face challenges in the graduate school to be successfully complete their work on time. It's very hard for a person facing challenges to concentrate on his research and be able to successfully finish their work. And this ability of a person, the resilience of the person, is always seen in difficult times. It may be a financial problem as common to most PhDs, or the research funding, or other means like family problem, health problem, mention them, or the laboratory work, the plan never goes the way you think. And that to be resilient and be able to start all over, or to be able to move on with what you have, is very difficult. And we have seen a lot of friends who left the graduate school because of lack of resilience to move on with research in difficult time. So if you are going to the graduate school or you are in the graduate school, you have to prepare your mind and also develop resilience in difficult times. Surely there will be difficult time in life and in education. For a personal experience, it is resilience that helped me to finish my education. During my graduate school, I faced challenges where the proposal I wrote for external funding was denied for the first time, and my university wasn't having fund for the internal funding. So I have to rewrite the proposal, and through all this process, I have spent almost 2 years without concrete results. If not for the love of what I'm doing, the inner intrinsic motivation, and other factors including resilience, I will not be able to finish my PhD. During my lab, we faced the pandemic, the COVID-19 pandemic, and I left the lab due to this circumstance and others, and see all my experiments being damaged, and I have to come back, restart all these things. So resilience is very important in being able to successfully finish your PhD. My next broad factor is workload and time management. Time flows, either we work or we don't work. The first time you sign your contracts or you accept your admission, your PhD period has started. And that is very important for you to be able to manage time. And that people who are able to manage their time effectively have in 30% chances of being able to finish their PhD on time. The workload of a PhD student, it depends on the contract the person have with the university or the structure of the PhD. So we have some people with the coursework, with the research, with teaching, with assistantship, and other responsibilities. Being able to manage all these workload is very important factor that determines a person's ability to graduate. In some instances, students are required to give report every 6 months. For others, they don't have that kind of requirement. For others, they have teaching load or mentoring other students, teaching juniors and others, and also whilst continuing with their coursework and their research. And this is for some, and in many cases, are overload of work. And hence, the student need to be able to work effectively in allocating time for each and every one of those load on the person. It's very important to do that in order not to be overwhelmed with work and break down. One of the ways that you can do it is to set a realistic goals and deadline. Look at the workload you have and the energy need to be input into each and every load, and think through it with your energy level and allocate appropriate time for it or them, and also realistic deadline. This will help you in be able to finish your PhD in time, and it will reduce your stress. So you should be able to know when to accept additional responsibilities and when not to accept additional responsibility if those responsibilities are not part and parcel of your contract or your agreement with your university, or it's not going to help you in developing personal skills and being able to finish your PhD on time. So develop a time management skills. Take courses online, watch videos, listen to podcasts on how to be able to develop time management skills. It will reduce your stress level. It reduces stress level and enhance your performance because you are not chasing impromptu activities. All your time is manage appropriately both your life outside the research or academia and life within the academia. You have to be able to balance those things with the workload. And in doing so, you will be able to finish your PhD on time. The third factor that I would like to discuss in this video, and also the last factor for this video, is research capacity building. Developing research skills and capacity is crucial for a PhD student success. Before you start even researching, after you even take coursework or within your coursework, it is very important to take those courses that you think will help you in learning how to do research. Probably you have managed to write your master's degree, and master's degree thesis, sometimes you depended a lot on the input of your supervisor or advisor. And now you are into PhD, where you are going to work mostly and entirely independent. And hence, before you start, you should be able to learn some key skills that will help you to succeed in research work. The first point under this factor is to learn, get a training on research methodology. It doesn't matter which field you are, either you are in the humanity or you are in the sciences. In every field, there are research methodology that need to be learned. If you have the opportunity to take courses, I know in some university there's this seminar courses that you can take courses there about research methodology. If not, there are a lot of online courses. Some are paid, some are free. Learn the best practice in research methodology and be able to understand the method you want to use. Know their limitation, know the advantages, know the theory behind it, and that will help you when you start the research to move faster. Learn about publication, understand the publishing system, how the publishing procedure is, and it's very important. In my previous video, I have done a lot of video regarding this topic. You can check it, and also other resources out there. What is the procedure of writing papers? How do you present in a conferences? Because in most universities, you need to get at least one citation index or one publication for you to be able to graduate, and that it will be peer review by external peer review that will guarantee that the work you did is standard and that you can be able to graduate. And if in the beginning of your PhD you have not built those skills, and that you have already started writing or researching or taking data, and now you are writing paper, you are about to write a paper, and going again to learn is difficult and challenging. And maybe the time is not in your favor, so that will increase stress later part of your PhD, and it's not going to help you. So it's very important factor to self-learn, research about everything you need to know about writing paper, about writing thesis. One of the most important parts of this writing process is the literature review. You should be able to know how to conduct correct literature review. Without good literature review, you will not know the state of the research that you are doing. and may end up writing something that somebody has already written, and that's not of importance, or plagiarism, copying some other people's work without knowing. So all this is important for you to be able to learn during your early part of your PhD. Access to necessary resources and facilities is very important factor in being able to successfully finish your work. From the onset of your research work or your PhD, try to identify, for example, the method you are going to use. Are you going to use a software? Is the software, do you have the resources in your university? If not, do you have collaboration with other university, or you can get it on open access, or you buy it depending on your funding. The library, how can you get articles to read, books to read, to be able to make a very sound literature review? Search for those access to resources in the university. If you are an international student, check in the international student office, or go to the library and ask, are they having workshops on what to do? For example, workshop that they teach students about different aspects of personal development, because here we are talking about something that you add value to your life as a PhD student to be able to finish your PhD successfully. And this brings me to the end of this video. And I hope to see you next time as we tackle in other topics or other factors that affect the success or a PhD student's success. Thank you for your time.